Welcome to the Foghorn Station podcast, where I tell stories that transport you to the land of Illuminati and its mythical island of Foghorn Station. These stories are an introduction to this world and gently told to soothe your nervous system and to help you relax. Over this first season, we will explore some of its magical secret spots that will open up a place that you can always call upon for a moment of calm. On today's episode, we will travel from the light keeper's room to the greenhouse, where we will do some mindful weeding of tomato plants. We will sit in a mossy lawn and have tea and look at a picture book. And then, walking through a beautiful pathway through the forest, we will climb up a spiral staircase to a treehouse. And there, on the deck of the treehouse, you will lie in a hammock and fall asleep. Are you comfortable? Taking a deep, settling breath through the nose and gently let it out through the mouth, very slowly. There you go. Now bringing your attention to your jaw and asking it to relax and loosen. Letting your jaw open and your mouth soften. That's right. And relax. And now that we have relaxed the physical body, let me take you on a journey to relax and soothe your mind and spirit. Last night, you slept in the lighthouse keeper's room on the island of Foghorn Station. You had a delicious night's sleep and you woke feeling refreshed. Next to you on the table was a fresh cup of tea and an assortment of your favorite breakfast items, all laid out just for you. You are looking forward to spending the day exploring the island. Last night's rainstorm and thick fog is beginning to clear. It holds the promise of being a really beautiful day. You put on your shoes and pick up your mug of tea and slowly walk around the room, exploring all its knickknacks, looking at all the books, art, and table flotsam, sipping your delicious tea as you go. Your feet sink into the deep blue carpet as you slowly stroll around, taking it all in. You visit with the trinkets that cover every space available. Lots of portraits of dogs in silver picture frames. Snail shells. Brass eggs of various sizes. Paintings of strange-looking purple birds that you have never seen before. Bowls of beads and buttons, vases of different feathers, and lots of rocks placed in front of paintings and pictures. There are jars lined on a shelf that say wishes and gratitudes on them. Each one are filled with tightly folded bits of paper with writing on them. Everything that you see you feel is very much loved, and you can feel the warmth of this person through their belongings. You end up at the double French doors, and wrapping your hands around your tea, you gaze outside at the start of this day. The morning foggy mist on the calm ocean starts to fade into different shades of blues and greys. The sun is rising on the horizon, beckoning an easy day of unfolding exploration. You gently open the doors and step outside onto the cobbled patio. The air is already warm and smells like night rain, moss, and fresh tomatoes. You step out further and look around, realizing that the island is far bigger than you had realized. You are standing at the rear of the building, looking out at a very large greenhouse. A stand of tall trees with a path that weaves in and out. Emerging out of the little forest are a couple of tree houses with glowing, hanging lanterns on their wraparound decks. There is a large moss lawn that goes down to another boat dock and the edge of the floating dish that the island sits in. What to explore first? You walk down a few big stone steps that are very worn with the history of the feet that have walked over them again and again and again. You arrive at a large greenhouse with a gabled roof with lots of levered windows in various stages of opening. This must be where that amazing smell of tomatoes is coming from. A sign next to the door reads, "Pulling a few weeds a day is good for mind, body, and spirit." You slide open the glass door and step inside to the greenhouse. You are met with the warm smell of earth, tomatoes, and cucumbers. There are 3 rows of long, high tables with towering plants growing all the way up to the pointed roof and the opened, levered windows. Sitting on a table is a set of gloves and various gardening tools with a bucket for weed collecting. This feels like the perfect way to start your day, with some relaxing weed pulling. You pick up the bucket and ignore the gloves, preferring to put your hands into the warm soil. And you begin. The tables are high enough so that you don't have to bend to weed. You lean into the plant and put your head into the center of the table, and with the tomato leaves brushing your hair and your face, leaving their scent hanging in the air. You put your hands into the warm soil and pull each weed out by the root. They come out so easily, and you drop each one into the bucket by your feet. Slowly and steadily, you work your way down the row of plants, only thinking of the weed right in front of you. And then the next, and then the next. and then the next. You get into a nice rhythm of movement, hands in the soil and the leaves brushing your face and neck. And as you go, you listen to the ocean waves and the sounds of the birds starting their day. I will let you keep on with your satisfying weeding rituals as you listen to the sounds of the island. When you reach the end of the table you were working on, you emerge from the plants, holding a full bucket in your hand and feeling the weight of it with satisfaction. At the end of the greenhouse, there is a small rake with a long wooden handle. You pick it up and slowly and steadily work on raking the soil between each plant. Placing the rake at the back of the planter and evenly and gently pulling it towards you. It leaves 5 long, deep grooves in the soil and feels satisfying to complete. Again and again, slowly and steadily, you walk down the long greenhouse on its brick pathway, raking the soil and making sure that you don't hit any of the plants. This is so soothing to you, and you feel very relaxed and calm. You reach the back door again and pick up your bucket of weeds and walk out, carefully closing the sliding door behind you. Outside, you find a row of different compost piles in various stages of breaking down. You go to the closest one and, lifting up your bucket, you let the weeds tumble out with a satisfying clump. You walk past the sections of compost and look at each pile with some of the most incredible slugs and snails that you have ever seen, all unusual in color and size. They are slowly making their way to a shady spot at the rear of the pile to shelter for the warm day ahead. You stand there for a long time, watching them slowly slither along, moving their eye stalks, wavering around as they go. Taking a moment to look at the surroundings and ponder what to do next. You feel so relaxed and at ease here. Your body has no tension in it. Your neck is relaxed. Your jaw is relaxed. Walking away from the greenhouse building and the compost, you emerge from a gate out onto the moss lawn that surrounds the island. In the center of the lawn is laid out a blanket with a tray of treats and water. You kick off your shoes and sit down on the blanket, feeling the moss cushion you as you sit. The moss has a scent to it that is sweet. You put your bare feet into the moss and it's warm and velvety soft. On the tray is a large book with a red cover and gold lettering that reads, Island Stories. You open the heavy cover, and on the first page is a beautiful painting of Foghorn Station and the lighthouse that you remember seeing as a child. Turning the page, you arrive at story number 1, In the Beginning, a natural history of island animals. The book looks as though it has been written by hand with a deep blue ink in beautiful penmanship. You admire the curved letters and the way that they swoop and glide into each other in perfect rhythm with the words. You turn the pages slowly, and each one has an ink drawing from a selection of the famous island starfish to pages and pages of beautiful sea slugs of all colors, of pink, purple, greens and blues, land slugs and snails with handwritten descriptions of their activities. You are mesmerized by these exquisite pictures, and time passes as you sit in this spot, turning the pages of this book, listening to the island sounds, and feeling the soft, spongy moss cradle you. You raise your head from the book to look out at the ocean, and it is then that you realize that you are no longer anchored on the shore, but are way out to sea. You are now facing land and the curve of the coast, and far in the distance you can see Almanati and the city where you live. You have never seen it from the ocean before. The fog begins to clear, and you enjoy watching the colors of the small city change as the sun rises. You stand up with the book in your hands and slowly walk back to the lightkeeper's room. Over the moss lawn and past the greenhouse to the cobbled patio. You enjoy the way the cobbles feel on your feet, and you walk slowly over them. Opening the French doors, you step inside and walk over to the main table that is covered with books and papers, and you put the precious Island Stories book down on another pile of books. You didn't want the book to get warm in the sun. You walk over to your bag and pull out your sun hat and find your sandals and put them on. You notice that there are still some embers in the fireplace, so you pick up the fire poker and spread them around so they fall through the grate. You find the mesh fire cover and put it around the fireplace. What to do next? You walk back outside onto the cobbles and stand and survey the island. You decide to go and explore the big stand of trees and the tree houses that are poking out through them. You walk over the cobbles, past the greenhouse, and taking a different path, you head for the tall trees. The path has an arbor entrance covered in blue flowers. There is a sign that says, "It is important to walk heel first to your toes." The path is full of gravel and make a lovely crunch as you walk, and you make sure that you are taking time with each step that you make, putting down your heel first and slowly the movement of all the bones in your feet as they flex and move all the way to the tip of your toes. Slowly, slowly, you step along the path as it heads towards the trees. You can see the water glistening now that the mist has totally cleared. The ocean air is cool, and the island smells of the rain-soaked earth from last night. You reach the end of the path and enter into the woods through a large metal curved arbor. You can see the path weaving around the trees and going through to the edge of the island, to the beach. You walk to the first big tree that has a treehouse, and you climb the wooden spiral staircase that wraps around it. A sign reads, "Welcome." A view always helps put things in perspective. Slowly you walk up the stairs, climbing further into the light. You arrive at the treehouse with a wraparound deck. It has a hammock strung up. You climb into that hammock and look out at the island and the lighthouse and the tops of the trees around you. You relax and settle into that hammock. Just let a wave of relaxation wash over you from the top of your head all the way down to the tip of your toes. You are relaxed and peaceful and completely comfortable. The temperature is just right. The air is perfect. You have nothing to do but relax here and watch the view and the birds flying by. Relax now. You are safe here. Just rest. That's right. Just rest. There is nothing to be done but relax